Okay, so this is the real reason that drugs in this country that are not from pharmaceutical laboratories, of course, are illegal. I'm going to read this newspaper clipping from Friday, August 25th, 1989, from the McAllen Monitor in McAllen, Texas. Comptroller vows to collect taxes on illegal drugs. Austin, AP. Drug dealers are facing new problems in Texas. A hefty tax on their illegal goods and a visit from the state comptroller's raiders if they don't pay the levy. And that, of course, means that the mafia that is called the comptroller will come to visit your house. Drug dealing has flourished because tremendous profits can be made. I hope the tax will break the financial incentive to deal illegal drugs. Mind you, this is almost 22 years ago. They're doing good. Comptroller Bob Bullock said Thursday. Bullock, close to bull. The law taxing marijuana and controlled substances was approved this year by the legislature and takes effect September 1st. This has always been the case. I don't know why they even bothered to put this in the paper back then, but whatever. Failure to pay the tax can lead to stiff penalties, fines, and seizure of property, Bullock said. Well, they love that seizure of property. Asset forfeiture must be the greatest scam for them ever. That is the point of the measure, said Representative Billy Clemens when he urged his colleagues to pass the legislation this year. Drug dealers are expected to forego buying the required tax stamps from the comptroller, thus setting up a tax evasion case. Wasn't that convenient? I'm going to go take my pounds of marijuana and buy a tax stamp for them. Boy, talk about a scam, huh? Beautiful. Clemens, Democrat, Pollock, dubbed the measure the Al Capone tax. And we know, of course, what happened during Prohibition, right? So we'll just continue the same crap. But they busted Al Capone this way, so they must think it's a really clever way to bust people. They never got him on bootlegging or some of the other stuff he was doing. They got him on tax evasion, he said. Under the law, tax stamps must be placed on packages of marijuana or a controlled substance. The tax for marijuana is $3.50 per gram, which is $1,624 per pound. The tax rate on controlled substances, virtually any other illegal drug, is $200 per gram, which is $90,720 per pound. Boy, that's a lot of LSD. Imagine that one, huh? Drug dealers arrested with untaxed drugs owe the tax, plus a late penalty and interest, Bullock said. The 2-inch square drug stamps are emblazoned with the image of a skull and crossbones or the Grim Reaper. The word drugs is printed at the top of the stamp with arrows pointing to the words death and taxes. Well, that's what the government's turned everything into, isn't it? Death and taxes. Even when you're taxed, even when you're dead, they still tax you, or your estate, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The law requires that all information about drug tax stamp purchasers remain confidential. Stamps must be purchased by money order or certified check from the comptroller's office. Bullock said that when his office is notified by a legal prosecutor of a drug tax violation, the dealer will be sent a tax notice. The comptroller can file a lien against the dealer's assets, such as real estate, bank accounts, cars, boats, and other property, for collection of the tax. Here's the big words at the end here. If you deal untaxed drugs in Texas, Bullock's raiders are coming after your property, your bank account, your car, or anything else that can be seized to collect the tax, Bullock said. So remember, guys, don't, if you see these names ever show up again, and those names are Bob Bullock and some other guy named Billy Clemens, make sure you do not in any possible way support these guys. These are some of the devils of the mafia in the state of Texas and actually in the country. These tax people, these taxes, and what really bothers me is the fact that they put marijuana here with death and taxes, one of the most benign, peaceful substances on the earth, this beautiful plant that's been with us forever, and they turn it into this Grim Reaper crap, I just don't know. But I thought this might be of interest to people who, collect stamps or, think this kind of thing is neat. This is kind of drug history. And again, this article was from 1989. So you can see how successful this has been, right? They've turned the country into a police state under the guise of protecting us from evilness in drugs. Anyways, this is Algo Rado signing off. And have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.